Welcome, everybody, to another Healthy Trinity show. Thanks for joining me. Yeah, it is hot. Let me tell you, summer is here, and technically it's almost over, which is odd. But that's how it goes in Southern California. It doesn't really start getting hot until September and then into October. So we're like dealing with 100-degree weather. I know, right? Some of the country is like that all summer long. But, we're used to 75 degrees all year round and sunny. So, Anyway, Healthy Trinity Show. Let's go. All right, everybody. Thank you so much again for watching our latest episode of the Healthy Trinity Show. It's Transformation Tuesdays. So as you guys come in, please say hello. Tell us where you're watching from. Drop a comment, drop a like, and let us know. This is an interactive show, as I always say. So if you have questions or comments or anything you want to add to our discussion with our guest, please feel free, and I will read the comments out loud live. So I just had a quick thought. And, when we talk about, obviously this program that we always talk about is rooted in being healthy. And part of being healthy is being at a healthy weight. And if we're not there, we either need to lose the weight or gain the weight. But it's not so much centered on that, okay? It is centered more on a healthy mind than anything. Because if our mind and our mindset is strong enough, it could tell our body to do pretty much anything that obeys the laws of physics. I had a discussion with somebody who was doing our program, and they, had their doubts about it. And they said, well, this just isn't for everybody. Everybody's body is different. And that got me thinking, and I was really like, wow, is it true? Is everybody's body different? And I thought about it, and I'm like, okay, well, doctors study the human body, anatomy, physiology, microbiology. And that's pretty much human nature. That's our body. We don't study independent people and how they work. It's one human body on how it works. It's called physiology. And I got to thinking, is it people's body that just doesn't cut out for? No, because really, and I'm going to tell you this honestly, I've never once seen this health program not work for somebody who follows it. Not once. And I'm not talking just me. I've reached out to plenty of my other coach friends. They're all said the same thing. No, it's not that it's not everybody's different. It's everybody's mind is different. Maybe their mindset wasn't strong enough. Maybe they're, have somebody whispering in their ear. Maybe they have their own head trash. That's the difference maker. It's not that, my body's just different. It's not going to work. No. It's your mind. It's your mind that needs to lose that weight. Your mind that needs to lose that head trash. It's your mind that needs to get stronger. So when you come up to obstacles, don't limit yourself because you don't think you could do it. And that's just an excuse, really. Honestly, that's just posturing. That's just excuses. That's just ego. That's just fear getting in the way. Strengthen your mind. Sabrina says, the crows in the field picking at the seeds, ruining the crop of good habits and thoughts. Absolutely. There's a passage in the Bible too that talks about the little foxes. I don't know if you're aware of this one, but this is a good one. The little foxes that spoil the vine. Okay, so the tale goes this: it's the foxes raid the grape fields, the grapevines, because they want the grapes, but they cannot reach the grapes. They're too little. So what do? They gnaw at the root. They gnaw at the trunk until the grape vine falls, and then they can eat the grapes. So it's not so much of just the little foxes going after the grapes. They gnaw at the trunk. Do you see where this is going? It's just like this. When you get something in your head and it just kind of gnaws away at you and works at the problem, and then finally it all comes crashing down. So don't let the little foxes spoil the vine. It's your mind. So let's get on with the show. Our guest today, Melissa Martinez. She is a wonderful person. I met her at our national convention a couple months ago, and we had a great talk. When you talk about an overcomer, her name is right there with it. She has overcome a lot in her life to be where she is now, and she is going to share her story. So let's see Melissa. There she is, the woman of the hour, Melissa.
Hello. Hi, Josh. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. It's definitely a pleasure to have you on the show. How's your day going?
It's been interesting. Been very productive. I just finished dinner and had a mommy moment, but we're here and I'm locked in. I'm excited to be here.
All right, good. We're excited that you are here too. So once again, everybody, if you're here, say hello to us, okay? Drop a like, drop a heart, whatever you got from Melissa. And if you have any questions, comments, or anything, share them online, and we can address them here on the show. So Melissa, let's jump right into this. This show is centered all about a healthy Trinity, which is our healthy body, our healthy mind, and healthy prosperity, prospering in our lives, giving this gift forward, repaying this, not being just silent and keeping this to ourselves. So, obviously somebody at one point shared this program with you, just like you are now sharing it with other people. So let's go back to that moment when you found this program. Where were you in your health? Where were you in your life? And why did this lifestyle appeal to you? So where were you when this program found you?
So it took me about 6 to 7 months to finally say yes to program. I was in a very broken place. I was still putting back the pieces of myself just to function. I had just recently lost my mother. And about a year and a half before that, I lost my grandmother. And if you're familiar with the Latino household, we are very tight. I came from a line of single women. So, me being a new mother, my daughter was only 3 years old when I lost them. It was really tough on me. I lost a lot of myself. I really felt like my soul left my body. And I was just an autopilot for, a good 2 years. It was all a blur. And through those 2 years, I was also going through a very, very toxic relationship with my daughter's father. So just trying to get my feet, just get my bearings in life. Being a new mom, coping with the loss of my mother and my grandmother and learning how to set boundaries, I also started coping by medicating. I was emotionally eating. I was using all the excuses to keep me in a comfortable state. So drinking was also a vice. I loved drinking. That was actually a way that I coped. I couldn't function without getting up and drinking some kind of alcohol just to get me through the day. And before I knew it, I remember looking in the mirror and I didn't even recognize who I was anymore. I had gained 75 pounds from 135 to almost, 200 pounds. I was about 197. And I just remember looking in the mirror like, oh my God, who is that? If something were to happen to me right now, my mother being my best friend and not there anymore, if something were to happen to me, who would find my dead body? Who would find me with my daughter? Like, she would just be there, kind of just surviving. And that was my wake up moment. I'm like, something has to change because I can't go through these motions anymore of just coping and in autopilot. I didn't like who I was becoming. And my daughter wasn't getting the best of me. So I knew something had to change. And at that point, eating wasn't really the first and foremost important. It was working out. I wanted, we have the stigma where we have to work out to lose the weight. So I jumped into doing cardio. I jumped into working out like 4 times a day. I was a crazy head about it. And my coach, Tiani, if you're out there, hi, Tiani. She reached out to me and she told me that she had this gift. And I seen her, I was like, God, she's glowing. Like, what does she do? And to be honest, I was like almost resentful towards her because I was like, she has this perfect life. What is she going to tell me that I'm not going to learn on my own? I'm in like survival mode and you have this perfect, pretty little life. What are you going to teach me that I don't already know? And it took me about 6 months to finally listen. And finally, when I did, I realized it was more than just, the food and the healthy motion. I was missing a huge aspect out of my life, and that was support. That was community, and that was accountability, having somebody in my corner to cheer me on. And I'm so thankful that I finally said yes, because it's changed my life. It's like changed my life, and I just want to scream it from the mountaintops. It can change yours too. You don't have to stay stuck where you are.
Right. It's true. You don't have to stay stuck where you are. And a lot of times, it's like I said, or it's like I was talking about earlier, it's more so us. We keep ourselves stuck with our mindset, with our thinking of, this, my life will never improve, no matter what I do. Or here comes along somebody who wants to help me, but what is this, perfect person with a perfect little life going to teach me? Right? I know better, but what is our reality, right? And that's one of the things that I like to remember for myself, is this little equation, just A plus E equals R. Our awareness is not enough to make a reality. Our awareness plus our experience, A plus E, awareness plus experience equals our reality. So we may know already, I know, or we say we know, right? But until we experience it, till we say, okay, maybe she does have something for me. Let me experience what she has. Then that becomes the reality, because now you're aware and now you're experiencing it. And that's kind of where you flip that light switch, it seems, as you went from kind of almost sounds like you had a lot of ego going on, right? I'm in survival mode. You're not going to teach me anything. I just got to focus on one thing and keep working out. And that's going to do it. And then finally you threw up your hands and said, okay, fine. Let's see what do you got? So now,
yes, all the running was me running from my problems, was me running from myself. You can run miles all day, but what are you really running from?
Yeah.
And I feel like That's what a lot of us that are on this fitness journey, we feel like we have to stimulate our mind and we have to stay active, because in reality, there's something that we're not happy with.
Mm-hmm.
So you can run miles, but what are you really running from? There's a
Yeah,
lot that comes with it, especially with your healthy mindset as well.
absolutely. Absolutely. We have to, but that's again, when we look at what are you running from, we have to sit down. I don't know, we have to. You don't have to do anything. Excuse me. Um, when you're starting to run from things constantly, you start to see a need for goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
You start to see a need for your why. You start to see a need for motivation, and writing them down, sitting down to take the time to write them out, to make them known, to proclaim them out loud, what you want to do. Then you start to be accountable. Then you start to get organized with yourself and what direction you want to take your life. So when you finally said yes to Tiani and you made a commitment, you made a proclamation to somebody, things changed for you, right?
Oh my gosh, tremendously. That was
So
my pivotal moment, though. I realized, I was like, you know what? Everything else has kind of fell apart. So what's going to change now if this doesn't work? What's the worst that can happen? At some point, I feel like we just have to take that leap, and it is a leap of faith. But there was something bigger. There was like a bigger force that was driving me, to this light. And
yeah.
I see it now, because the community aspect of what our program offers, like, it's a family that I never knew was out there.
Mm,
We are a huge family, and there are days when, I just feel like my whole world is falling apart, but my rock is our community. My rock is our team, is our squad, is the love and the support that we have for one another, because we've been there before.
yeah, that's amazing. Tell me what opened your eyes to this not being a means to just lose weight. Tell me what was the moment that you went, you know what, this isn't just something that I'm going to use to lose weight. This is something I'm going to use to become healthy, that I'm going to have support. I'm going to have, community. What was that moment like for you?
Well, along with our Monday night calls, our healthy community time, um, I had I have a support group that hasn't given up on me.
Mm-hmm.
My coach, and the extended family that I've gained through the community, um, they haven't given up on me, and that says that says so much, because even within my own, immediate circle, they're not going to be your biggest supporters. They're not going to be your biggest cheerleaders, and sometimes you can't call them when you need them. But
Yeah.
to have a coach that is there to lean into on your toughest days, to have the support group that we have, that we create within this community. I mean, um, you don't find that anywhere. You don't find that type of love and support anywhere out there. I've never experienced this before. And that was my wake up call. It was like, God, here I am again. We're human. We fall sometimes. And on program, there has been a few times where my mindset has got the best of me, just from environmental stuff or just surroundings. Life happens. So you're going to have tough days. You're going to have those days where you're like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to get up and work out. I don't want to eat the food. I want to go back to those bad habits. But that's when you pick up the phone, or that's when your support is like, hey, where'd she go? She's missing. Let me go find out where she is. And I can't tell you how many times I've been on the ledge, and Tiani, Andrea, they're like, Melissa, they've walked to that ledge with me and they've pulled me back. You're not going to go down that route. You've committed to bettering your health, and we're going to help you get there. So within this community, we are tight, and we're very supportive of one another, and they're going to fight for me like I would fight for my clients. And honestly, I don't think that any other community or any other program is out there like what we have. We are literally a family, and that was my wake up call. If
Mm,
they have that drive and they want to see me healthy, why can't I believe that in myself?
Yes. Why don't I have that same drive? Why don't I have that same belief in myself? Are they seeing something that I don't? And it's true. We do. We see so much in people. Were there times that you wanted to hide from them? Like they're calling you and be like, girl, where'd you go? Were you like,
I hope they're watching, because yes.
were you like, I'm just going to go ahead and no, boop, ignore.
In the
Did that
beginning,
happen
for
or what?
sure. Oh my gosh. In the beginning, for sure. There's times where I didn't even want to go on my social media. I don't want to watch their stories. I don't want to hear about what good day they had, because I was in my beginning stages of getting out of that muck of that, why is this happening to me? And, we have a huge saying in Optavia, it's not happening to us, it's happening for us.
Mm-hmm.
And once I was able kind of just to clear that chatter out and realize that they just want the best for me. Our community truly does want the best for you. It's not because they want a success story or they want you to be the next transformation story. That's not it. They see something in us. And I feel like, throughout our life, we tend to kind of get stuck on the old version of us. We only see
Absolutely.
ourselves, in that perspective. Even now, it's really hard for me to look at these transformation stories of myself, like these face to face, and these before and after. So I'm like, no way, that's me. No way.
Yep.
And I even discussed this with you earlier. It's time for me to walk in those shoes. It's time for me to walk in Melissa's shoes, because I'm no longer that version of me. I've stepped into my future self, and I'm just so ready to, like, let's go, baby. Like, this is you. Look at yourself in the mirror and embrace how far you've come, where you're at right now. I'm ready now. I'm finally ready to step into this future version of myself and just let's go. Where are we headed now? Chapter 2, baby.
Forward thinking, man. That's what it is. That's the name of the game, is forward thinking. What did you say? We get stuck on our old self. We get stuck on our old self, the old version of ourselves, the one that didn't serve us, the one that had a lifestyle that brought us here to needing a change in health. We get stuck in the bad habits. We get stuck in the disappointments. We get stuck in feeling sorry for ourselves. We get stuck in hiding, right? Hiding from people, hiding from those who want to pick you up and push you forward. Because why? Because we're afraid. Anytime we hide, it all comes down to being afraid of failing, being afraid of not being able to do it. So we hide because there's guilt, there's shame involved in it. But when you let go of that, Melissa, when you let go of that, you start answering the calls and you say, all right, Andrea, all right, Tiani, okay, I'm back on track. I'm going to do this. Okay. I'm going to get into my life book. I'm going to start focusing on the habits and stop focusing on how much weight I'm losing. And that's when your life really changes. That's when things open up for you. And that's what you did. And that's something to be so proud of. And not only do we see that in your transformation of your body, but we can hear it right now in the words you're speaking. You're not speaking like someone who's broken. You're not speaking like you're a victim. You're not speaking like somebody who can just only think of their former self, the past version. You're looking straight forward, and we all hear that and see that in you. So now I want to know something right here. Oh, there she is. She's so proud of you, Mel. There's your coach right there. Tiani. Hi, Tiani. How are you doing? Hey, so then let's go and talk about when you actually were on program. What did you experience physically once you started seeing some results? What happened?
My story with program is a little different than most. I was already on my own fitness journey before I started program. So I started on our 4 and 2. I was still working out crazy because I was filling a void. I was still filling that void. Working out for me was a way to escape reality and escape my surroundings and the chatter in my head. And so I started the 4 and 2. Within my first week, I was like, no freaking way I lost 7 pounds.
For those of you who are not sure, sorry to interrupt. For those of you who don't know, 4 and 2 program is for those people who want to continue working out heavy at the gym. They don't want to give up so much of their workouts. So we can modify our programs.
Yeah, I was working out 5 times a week. I was like, I'm not going to give up my workout because that was my way of kind of managing my stress levels, managing my head chatter. I was still running from my problems. I was still running. So I was like, I got to work out to keep running from these issues, you know, but after a week of being on program on the 4 and 2, I lost 7 pounds. I was still working out like a crazy head. And I lost 24 pounds with my first 2 months. And then I realized, God, like working out is taking up so much of my day. I don't need to be freaking working out this much when we have an easier route. So I hopped on the 5 and 1. I was like, forget this workout stuff. I don't have to do that. I hopped on the 5 and 1 and I lost another, I think it was like 13 pounds in total. I lost 33 pounds. So did I do the math right? Hold on. 33, 24, 33. Okay. I'm not good at math, guys. Sorry. I ended up losing another. You know, it's okay. In total, I lost 33 pounds in 3 months. But the 5 and 1 for me was like, okay, I don't need to be going so hard working out when there's an easier route. And so when I hopped on the 5 and 1 and I started getting different results, like I was shredding out more, I was leaning out more, and I was losing a lot of those old stored carbs. Like I haven't worked out in 3-4 months right now. And that's because I've obviously been able to sustain the weight that I've gotten to, my goal weight, because of these new healthy habits. So program that, like, the fuelings are just one aspect of it. To be honest, it wasn't until I hopped into my life book that I realized, holy crap, this is the secret to the sauce. The life book is like the light bulb that goes off. Wow. Oh my God. You know, I'm not a victim anymore. I'm my driving force, and it's up to me. I don't have to stay stuck where I'm at, and I don't need to be running from my problems. Let's face them. Let's face my problems now, because as we say, the obstacle is the way. Girl, I went through, like, talking to myself, I'm like, you've already been through hell a few times. I have a roadmap now. You know, I have a roadmap to all the levels of hell, and I've been there before. So why have to stay stuck there? This life book for me was one of, like, a huge pivotal moment. I started to realize how much I was playing the victim, and how I was blaming everything and everybody else around me for where I was. But in reality, it's us. You know, we are our own creators. We are the manifestors, writing things down, speaking things out into existence, and being able to, like, focus and hone in on that obstacle that's creating the way for us. So, yeah, I mean, as the nutritional aspect is one part, our life book is the secret sauce, but the family that we have within our community, that's
the glue.
That's my rock. This is my new foundation. Like, I'm a lifer. I'm optically a lifer.
It's, you know, it's funny how you describe that. Is, you know, when you started, you're like, I'm not giving up the workouts. That's my stress relief. That's how I manage myself. That's how I do all this. And then after you started to dig into the life book, after you started to focus on your habits, started learning some of your emotional triggers, how to respond to stress, how to, you know, and just kind of how to, you know, stay above the line, things like that. All of a sudden, you didn't need all of that stress relief with working out. So you just, you know, switched it around. I don't need to kill myself at the gym because I don't need that anymore, because I've learned skills. I've learned concepts to really manage that on my own. You didn't need anything extraneous to help you get through the day anymore. Because some people, you know what, honestly, and I'm not knocking working out, because we all need to work out. We all need to move our bodies. But that's just kind of a vice. That's a crutch a little bit, right? It's like some people come home and have the mommy juice. Like, I need to have some couple glasses of wine to deal with the day. Some people need to go and work out to deal with the day. Some people need to do a couple lines or drink, whatever, or shoot up, whatever people use to cope with reality.
It's an excuse.
It's a different, it's an extraneous thing. See, we learn to not internalize it, but we learn it's within us on how to deal with things, how to deal with stress.
Self-soothing. We learn to
Right.
self-soothe in our ways. There, and there's still times where, don't get me wrong, where I want to go back to those same habits. Every time a new like a holiday comes up, or my mother's anniversary. I just recently, last anniversary of her death, I wanted to drink. That was my way of coping, So immediately I pick up the phone and I reach into my support group and I'm like, my normal way of coping is to go hit the bottle. So walk me off the ledge right now. I wanted to, but if it wasn't for my support group, if it wasn't for Tiani and Andrea, to be honest, I probably would have hit the bottle. I probably would have went right back into my old ways, but that's why we have our community. That's why we lean into each other, for those moments that are not going to be so easy. We're all going to have them.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I see a lot of those more often than most because of the back-to-back, loss that I've had. I'm gonna face those every month, every holiday, but now I have the tools to overcome them.
And that's the thing. That's the thing, Melissa, is not only do you have the tools, okay, not only can you call people when you feel that way, but it takes that small amount, that 15 seconds of boldness, of courage to actually pick up the phone and call. So not only do you have resources that are given to you with this program, you're learning to now be resourceful and use those, because we can have all the resources we want. We can have as many Andreas and Tianis and Joshes and helpful people around you. But if you isolate into yourself when times get tough, if you say, you know what, I'm going to disappear for a little bit because that's just what I need to do. A lot of times, remember, our old self, when we're left to our own devices, we get into those bad habits. We remember our old self. We start using alcohol or food to cope. But when we have our support system, when we use our resources, when we use the people that are close to us, that's when we truly break through and we create a new identity. And that's what you've done. And that's what's impressive. It's not just having those people by you, but the fact that you used those people to help you through those tough times. That's the difference maker right there. So again, applauding you for your boldness and your courage. So congratulations on that. So then pushing forward, after you lost your weight, after you've had this awakening, you're starting to now reach out to other people and say, hey, I've got a gift for you. Just like Tiani said to you, I've got a gift for you. So tell me how that journey has helped you move forward more.
My goodness. Well, not only obviously does it hold me accountable on my journey, but I feel like, we owe it to the next line of survivors. The next line of survivors to help them kind of get out and be a light. If somebody came and found me in my dark, I want to be able to utilize the light that I've gained and give it to the next person who may need it. Because a lot of people out there feel hopeless. A lot of people feel like they don't have anybody or they can't make it out. And that's not the case. No. I feel like that's just another excuse and another crutch to stay where you are, because now you got to put in work to change your situation. And a lot of people don't want to put in the work to do it, but realizing that it can be done. And, for most that have been in the situation that I've been with, toxic, abusive relationship, losing your rocks, your matriarchs in your life, and not really having the support group to fall back on, that was like huge. It could have really broke me. It could have kept me broken. I could have been in a different situation that I am now. But not only did I owe it to my daughter, but I owed it for the next Melissa that I was going to come across. That's like, no, I don't have anybody. I'm okay staying where I am. I'm going to medicate. No,
She could
that's
be
just an
watching. The next
extent.
Melissa could be watching this.
If you're out there next, Melissa, I just want to let you know that there is a way out. And Optavia is the way.
There is a better way out there, that's for sure. And we just have to be open to finding it and be open to being vulnerable. Because again, like you said at the top of the shows, well, what was it going to hurt for me to try something different, right?
If everything else is
and
already
to do
failed,
it there, and not to do it my way. That's one of the things that I really have myself that I've learned is, you can't do things your way all the time. Okay. And like I was saying earlier too, I was saying, what did I say? For the people that do this program, how it's designed, I've never seen it not work. But when you take control and say, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to tweak this way and I'm going to, do it my way. I'm not going to embrace all aspects of this. I'm just going to do the food and I don't really want to talk to anybody. I don't really want to whatever. And, I don't really want to read the books. Guess what? You're holding on to that former version of yourself that didn't work for you before.
I would ask them, has that way worked for you?
Right. How did that go for you before? Because you're holding on to it a lot. How is this going to be any different? You're just wasting your time doing something that's not going to work. So, when we can surrender and submit to something, that means the need is great enough. And if you don't have a great enough need, then let's talk. Let's sit down. Let's figure it out. What do you truly want in life? What do you want for yourself? What do you want for your kids? What do you want for your future? How do you want that to go? How do you see that happening? That's when things become real. That's when our awareness of what we want our life starts becoming what we experience in our life.
Definitely.
That's what becomes our reality. So, that's just something that I feel people need to embrace. Oh, there I go with that language. I'm trying to get away from that. What you need to do. That's another number. It's something that would be beneficial for us to embrace. Letting go of that past, letting go of what didn't work for us before. And I know for me it's worked, and we're all a work in progress. So I appreciate that.
Indeed.
Okay. So, Melissa.
Josh.
There is somebody out there watching this who is just kind of maybe still on the fence. The next Melissa that it's like, okay, yeah, I relate to what she's saying, but I don't know if this is for me. What are you going to say to this person? What are you going to say to them that's going to help them?
What do you have to lose? What have you already lost? Imagine what you can gain. What if it did work? What if it did?
That's right.
You're going to waste another 3 years? It's sad to say, but I feel like, we look back and I revisit. I'm out of state right now, but if I go home and I revisit, where I came from, a lot of those people are still stuck. They're still stuck in the same little bubble and content where they are. I don't want to be that. There's a whole world out there that we haven't experienced, and it's bigger than your 30-mile radius.
That's right. Absolutely. It's changing the world. That's what it is. Awesome, Melissa. Thank you so much for this. This was great. We're about out of time with it, but you know what? I want to give you opportunity. Any shout outs that you want to give before we go?
Shout outs? What? Obviously, I've shouted out my coach like 5 times. But I also like not only Tiani, Andrea, Nelly. You guys are like my new best friends that I didn't even know I had. And I just want to say thank you for not giving up on me, because I'm very stubborn. But if I'm here and I know that this works, I know that there's another Melissa out there that can benefit from this program too.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Melissa. Thank you for your time. Thank you for pouring into us with this. I told you guys you needed a notebook and a pen for this, because Melissa was going to drop some bombs on us. So I hope you guys can go back and maybe rewatch and just absorb everything that she has to share with us. So, Melissa, again, thank you so much. As always, if anybody's out there that really is looking for some change or really wants to improve their health, feel free. Give me a call, get in touch with me, get in touch with Melissa or any of the wonderful coaches that we've had on this program. We would love to just talk with you and meet you where you're at and see how we can best help you achieve your goals. So thank you so much, Melissa. Again, we will be back next week with another Healthy Trinity show, Transformation Tuesday. Until then, everybody, stay cool. I know I will, because I am cool. All right, everybody, take care. We'll see you next week.